Welcome back to Pisces TV with Montana B. This is a general message for Pisces. Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising, wherever Pisces may fall in your chart or in your environment. I just want to take time to say thank you for all of you that are tuning into this message. If you're interested in any services, products, or booking, check the description box. There's a link to all of my places and information. Link to Patreon is there if you're interested in joining us on the other side. A lot of good stuff going on. I won't even tell you what. Just go see after the video. Go to Patreon and see like all the cool stuff. All right. Here on YouTube, we have the community board that is so essential. It is one of my favorite spots. Check that out. It's where we hang out and integrate coupon codes, the daily specials, and all that kind of stuff. Could save you some money if you are interested in any of the products or services, or just want to see what those products and services are. Getting into this reading, I will say there are some different energies, and it could be from different transits and different aspects of your chart. So instead of rolling them all together, right, which would be conflicting information for some of you, I'm separating the messages. And whatever resonates, keep it. Whatever does not, keep in mind that it could be someone in your environment, a friend that you can help out, or some shit that ain't happened to you yet. So just put it in your back pocket, right? We got dissatisfaction with life. And when that came out with the basket, it was just like, okay, all right, there could be something that you haven't paid attention to, or something that needs to be paid attention to. Okay, I'll say that. I know when I think about the harvest, okay, and when I think about the energies that are released during that time, they aren't good, because the fly came out, which talks about a period of ill health and depression, and it's kind of like feeding off of that. As you can see, this little fly kind of feeds off of that, right? And then here you see the rat. They kind of feed off bullshit, right? So I already knew where we were going with this, and I was like, cool. And not only because I'm super intuitive, but the shield came out that talks about a need to protect yourself. So I was like, got that. Okay, boom. The challenging issue is that shield. Okay. And it's like, why is that? Because some of us in an energy of our lower energies, we're not feeling our best. We're not the most confident. We're not happy and uplifted and bright. And because of that, any negative energies, which religious folks call demons, scientists call, low vibration or energies, they feed off trash, right? And those low vibrations and those horrible thoughts and your dissatisfactions, they will come and they will suck on you, honey, until ain't nothing left. Okay? So plain and simple, and a lot of you are healers, nurses, mothers, in a relationship, you are friends and co-workers and confidence. And Pisces, we're like the leaders. Pisces, Aquarian kind of energy. I think all of the water signs, but star seeds in particular. This is a time that we may be helping others and also need to defend ourselves from our shadows. Not that the shadow is something that you have to ignore or be afraid of, but some people's shadows are a little bit scarier than others. So suicide and depression kind of go hand in hand when you feel like, and I didn't even really take it that seriously, but so many Pisces like send me emails, like whether they want readings or not. They'll send me emails and just tell me how they feel. And I have had a few people say, this one chick literally asked me, is suicide like a sin? And don't ask me no shit like that, because to me, nothing is a sin. I do believe in free will. And if somebody was like, I'm tired of this shit, I want to go, I would say, okay, if that's really what they wanted to do. But usually when people reach out to others, instead of taking drastic measures, they just want some attention. And look, we got recognition, reward, and merit with that basket there. So there could be some, some people that could need a little bit more attention than others. Just be mindful of not wasting your energy, because that's what this shield could be about. Like somebody in your environment, and I hate picking on cancers, but I don't know a lot of toxic people. And this young man was very emotionally damaged. I welcomed him to be, what do you call it? He was like, it wasn't like a client because it was free. I was going through a training, and you know how you have to train on people like test dummy, but I didn't want to call him that because it's something that could have really changed his life. And he played with me and my instructor. And I finally got to realize this woman's name, Dolores Cannon. Did I say it wrong again? Probably. Anyway, the quantum hypnosis healing and stuff like that I do, that I'm learning about, she made it clear that you should not have any clients that are sociopathic or have sociopathic behavior. So I thought I got set up by the universe and by her, even though she has passed on. She's somewhere in the spirit world probably laughing that my very first client, quote unquote, in that training was a sociopath. So I was like, okay, what are the odds in that? But that type of energy is usually around the others that have issues, you know, where some people can be helped. Some people you can offer advice. Some people you cannot. So when I was doing that particular training, and I've never even explained this thoroughly before, but maybe I need to. When I was doing that particular training, when we discussed, and you know, I believe in client-patient confidentiality, but like I said, this dude was a joke. We discussed his life, and in his life, he talked about others as being so toxic in some of their behaviors, but they resembled him so much that I saw the trauma bond. So where it talks about you need to defend yourself in a period of ill health and depression, if this isn't you specifically, that sometimes can go, you know, off the wagon a little bit. It could be people in your environment, and some of you, there's a need to protect yourself some kind of way, and or just be mindful of people in your environment feeding off of your energy. Sources like it's not so much people in your environment, it's the energy in the environment, in the unseen world, okay? When I think about, we did have a discussion in the Daily Vibe that talked about the rays coming from the sun, and creations, and sometimes creations, like I said, could be low vibrations for some, and like demonic kind of energies for others. So be mindful of that. And I could not do this video. That would be very fucked up, that I talk about the cool relationships and the moon transits and the planetary alignments and all this money coming to you, and then leave out the fact that it could be a time where some things are brought up that don't make you feel good, or some shifts are happening and some uncomfortable transitions. Those of you, it could be as simple, okay? It could be as simple, and it has happened. It's like, I don't know all the time, but when I listen to people talk, the cards be making sense. So I was like, okay, well, I need to start talking about this stuff. I just didn't want to bring everybody else down, but I guess I should talk about it. But the barrel says specifically that you feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals, and it came out under cracked cup. So this is like simple things, like I want more money, or coming out of a breakup, or I've been by myself for a long time, or, you know, I haven't accomplished my goals, or I don't even got no goals, or whatever, right? Something as simple as that is the rabbit hole, and then you crack. You feel me? Or this crack also gives me like the auric feel, because when I got upset, I don't be knowing what to do. And look, the tower is at the bottom of the deck. Unexpected reactions, unexpected situations, and also, you know, downloads for some of you, and shifts where you don't know what's going on. So you start pulling shit out the rabbit hat, what it could be. And it's like, nah, it's not any of that. You're shedding your shadow. You're shedding some unneeded energy. You're shedding some things out of your past, out of your DNA. Source does all kind of things, okay, when you woke, sleep, or in a meditative state. So just let it roll, right? Don't say I feel like this because of Cujo and Kojak. Sometimes we just need to sit and say, okay, I feel like this, and why? That could help. But I feel like this, and then you start thinking about all the other bullshit, because right now you feel like bullshit is not healthy. But what I was about to say is I was just like tired. So some of you, it could even come in the form of energy, you know, dealing with a person. Like every time I dealt with this person, And it was cool, like not a bad person at all. But every time I be around this person or deal with this person, I be like, I feel sick. Like, it could be actual energy vampires, for real. But instead of me like dwelling in that, I did take a seat and I was like, you know what? When you get the feeling out of sorts, it could be a crack in your auric field where your energy is oozing out or somebody else's energy is oozing in. So I just sat and said, you know what? Mentally, and I also asked source to like help me, but mentally I try to give myself, my body, my higher self and my superpowers, I try to always give it light and not put everything on God or Jesus or source, because then you take away from yourself. So I was just like, self, you know what? Your energy field is fucked up. I don't know if it's, like I said, something seeping out or something coming in. So I just imagined a protective bubble around me. And I did that for a while. Now, there are some more, I guess, professional ways to do it. You got crystals. You got professional Reiki healers. You got protection spells and all that kind of stuff you could do. But my mind is very strong. Your mind is very strong. And if nothing else, you could sit there for a second and see it, right? So I saw this protective shield around me, and I wasn't necessarily depressed. And I wouldn't say it was like ill health, but it wasn't what I wanted to feel like. And so that being the challenging situation, maybe that's the most important thing. And then, like I said, the outcome, we had the basket where it talks about recognition, reward for merit. I think the challenge is here and the reward comes from, overcome. And then here I have someone working against you behind your back. I like the red because I and look, see, I knew it. I like the red because it talks about wisdom in Chinese astrology and a few more other things. The rat is like one of the oldest animals symbolically, and that's why, the Ninja Turtles and shit refer to it as like Master Splinter and shit, because they survive. Now, I know that they're a little scary, and in the streets is a snitch or something like that. I get it. But the wood rat in Chinese astrology is wise because it don't take a lot of risk, and when some shit shaking, it's gonna move around. So it's just really smart, regardless of like the negative idea of a rat, because I don't want to sit and play with no motherfucking rat, or really even being called a rat. But I think that's Western tradition. Anywho, recognition, reward. I think this is from wisdom. Stand out the way. How about that? Because that is one of the, if nothing else, the rat gonna stay out the way. Okay. But here we have wealth. We have death in the reverse. We have a broken ring and the dolphin. So it's like some of you guys are coming from out of something, but it's for the best. Okay. I like that. Pentacles just falling after whatever this ends, and whatever this is a commitment. So when I think about severing ties, you could be severing ties to depression and severing ties to isolation, loneliness, obesity. Because I said that, I was like, baby, and look, I've been losing weight ever since. It be silly, simple shit. Like some people like, I want to sever ties with poverty and, limited beliefs. Sometimes you got to get real simple and specific. I was like, man, I sever ties with obesity and I want to lose some weight. And I've been losing weight effortlessly. But I also have been doing more fruit, vegetable intake, increasing my water. And I don't have a lot of sugar and fast food. So it still, all these changes came when I asked to sever ties with obesity. So it didn't say it was going to fall out the sky and you still get to do the same shit you've been doing. It kind of like worked hand in hand with like my effort and what I asked for. Or it's just magic. I don't know. But financial gain usually comes from something you did in the past. The bat here represents the past. It represents Scorpio. And I think it has something to do with parting ways with something. That's what I got. Pisces, I do hope that it helps. Until next time, namaste.